We're all met together here to sit and to crack, wi' our glasses in our hands and our work upon our back, and there's no a trade among them all, can neither men nor mac. If it wasna for the Wark O The Weavers, if it wasna for the weavers, what would we do? We wouldna hae claith made o' our woo, we wouldna hae a coat neither black nor blue, gin it wasna for the Wark O The Weavers. The hireman shields they mock us and crack our boots. They say that we are thin-faced, bleached like cloots, and yet for all their mockery they canna do wi' oots. Nah, they winna want the Wark O The Weavers. If it wasna for the weavers, what would we do? We wouldna hae claith made o' our woo, we wouldna hae a coat neither black nor blue, gin it wasna for the Wark O The Weavers. There's our refs and our slaters and glaziers and all, our doctors and our ministers, than them that live below, and our friends in South America, though them we never saw, but we ken they were the Wark O The Weavers. If it wasna for the weavers, what would we do? We wouldna hae claith made o' our woo, we wouldna hae a coat neither black nor blue, if it wasna for the Wark O The Weavers. Our sailors and our soldiers, we ken they're all bold, but if they hadna claes faith they couldna fecht for cold. The high and low, the rich and poor, oh body young and old, they winna want the Wark O The Weavers. If it wasna for the weavers, what would we do? We wouldna hae claes made o' our woo, we wouldna hae a coat neither black nor blue, gin it wasna for the Wark O The Weavers. There's folk that's independent, oh with their tradesman's work. The women need nae barbers and the dykers need nae clerk, but none of them can do without a coat or a sark. Nay, they winna want the Wark O The Weavers. If it wasna for the weavers, what would we do? We wouldna hae claes made o' our woo, we wouldna hae a coat neither black nor blue, if it wasna for the Wark O The Weavers. The weaving is a trade that never can fail, as lang's we need a cloot to keep another hale. So let us aye be merry out a bicker o' Gweedale, and drink to the health o' the weavers. If it wasna for the weavers, what would we do? We wouldna hae claith made o' our woo, we wouldna hae a coat neither black nor blue, if it wasna for the Wark O The Weavers. It's Droylsden Wakes and we come into town to tell ye a summat o' great renown. And if me out woman let me begin, I'll show you how hard and how fast I can spin. So it's threely well, dan dum dill do, and it's threely well, dan dum dill do. Says she, thou's a bragger, thou knows it's not true, for I will up out thee, thy faults aren't a few. And when thou hast done, lad, and spun very hard, oh this I'm well sure, thee work is ill mad. So it's threely well, dan dum dill do, and it's threely well, dan dum dill do. Saucy out jade, thou'd best out the tongue, or else I'll be thumping ye ere it be long. And if a do, thou'rt sure for to rue, for I can have money a lass good as you. So it's threely well, dan dum dill do, and it's threely well, dan dum dill do. says she, what do I care who you can have? I shanna be long ere I'm laid in my grave, and when I'm dead and I've done what I can, just try to find one will spin hard as I've done. So it's 3D well, dam dum dildo. And it's 3D well, dam dum dildo. I says, come me dear wife, I'll not have thee rue, and this I will tell you, and I'll tell it true. Let all spinners unite, and let's live as one, and we'll fight for our rights, stead of fighting at home. So it's 3D well, dam dum dildo. And it's 3D well, dam dum dildo. I'm a full waver, as many a one knows. I've now died and I've wore out me clothes. Me clogs are both broken and stockings I've none. The dadly give me tuppence for all I've getten on. How'd Billy at Benty kept telling me long, we met her better times if I'd nobbut out me tongue. Well, I've out me tongue till I near lost me breath, and I feel in me heart that I'll soon clem to death. I'm a full waver, as many a one knows. I've now died and I've wore out me clothes. Out Billy's alright, but he never clemmed, and he ne'er picked o'er in his life. We held on for 6 weeks, thought each day were the last. We tarried and shifted till now we're quite fast. We lived upon nettles while nettles were good, and Waterloo porridge was best to us food. Our Margaret declares if who'd clothes to put on, who'd go up to London to see the great man, and if things didn't alter when there who had been, who swears who would fight away blood up to Thane. I'm a full waver, as many a one knows. I've now died and I've wore out me clothes. Clogs we heen on and no looms to wave on, and I've woven myself at far end. I'm a weaver, a Carlton weaver, I'm a ration roving blade. I've got siller in my pooches, I'll gang follow the roving trade. Oh, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. As I came in big Glasgow City, Nancy, whiskey a chance to smell, I gaed and sat down beside her, 7 long years I loved her well. Oh, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. The mair I kissed her, the mair I looed her, the mair I kissed her, the mair she smiled. I forgot my mither's teaching, Nancy soon had me beguiled. Oh, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. I woke early in the morning to slake my drouth, it was my need. I tried to rise, but I wasna able. Nancy had me by the head. Oh, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. Come landlady, what's the law? And tell me what there is to pay. 15 shilling is the reckoning. Pay me quickly and go away. Oh, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. As I went to big Glasgow City, Nancy whiskey a chance to smell. I gaed in, drank 4 and 6pence. All 'twas left was a crooked scale. Oh, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. I'll gang back to the Carlton weaving, I'll surely make the shuttles fly. I'll make more of the Carlton weaving than ever I did in a roving way. Oh, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. Come all ye weavers, Carlton weavers, all ye weavers, where'er ye be, beware of whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, she'll ruin you as she ruined me. Oh, whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. Whiskey, whiskey, Nancy, whiskey, 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 Nancy, oh. Oh dear me, the mill's gane fast, the pair wee shifters cannae get a rest. Shifting bobbins coarse and fine, they fairly mak ye work for your 10 and 9. Oh dear me, I wish the day was done, rinnin' up and down the pass is nae fun. Shifting, piece and spinning, warp, weft and twine, to feed and clean my bairnie off and 10 and 9. Oh dear me, the world's ill divided, them that work the hardest are the least provided. Arm and bite contented, dark days are fine, but there's no much pleasure living off and 10 and 9. A dialogue I'll tell you as true as me life, between a coal owner and a poor pitman's wife, as she was a-travelling all on the highway. She met a coal owner and this she did say, "Derry down, 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 Derry down." "Good morning, Lord, fire damp this woman," she said. "I'll do you no harm, sir, so don't be afraid. If you'd been where I'd been the most of me life, you wouldn't turn pale at a poor pitman's wife. Derry down, 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 Derry down." "Then when do ye come from?" the owner he cries. "I come from hell," the poor woman replies. "If you come from hell, then come tell me right plain how you contrive to get out again. Derry down, 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 Derry down." Either way I got out, the truth I will tell, they're turning the poor folks all out of hell. This to make room for the rich wicked race, for there is a great number of them in that place. Derry down, 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 Derry down. And the coal owner selves is the next on command to arrive in hell, as I understand. For I heard the old devil say as I come out, the coal owners all had received their out. Derry down, 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 Derry down. Then how does the devil behave in that place? Oh sir, he is cruel to the rich wicked race. He's far more crueler than you can suppose. Even like a mad bull with a ring through his nose. Derry down, 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 Derry down. Good woman, says he, I must bid you farewell. You give me a dismal account about hell. If this be all true that you say unto me, I'll be home like a whippet with me poor men agree. Derry down, 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 Derry down. If you be a coal owner, sir, take my advice. Agree with your men and give them a full price. For if and you do not know very well, you'll be in great danger of going to hell. Derry down, 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 Derry down. The oars are waiting in the tubs, the snares upon the fell. Canny folks are sleeping yet, but Laddie's right to sell. Come, me little washer lad, come, let's away. We're bound down to slavery for fourpence a day. It's early in the morning, we rise at 5 o'clock, and the little slaves come to the door to knock, knock, knock. Come, me little washer lad, come, let's away. It's very hard to walk for fourpence a day. Me daddy was a miner and lived down in the town. 'Twas hard work and poverty that allus kept him down. He aimed for me to go to school, but Brassy couldn't pay, so I had to go to the washing rig for fourpence a day. Fourpence a day, me lad, and very hard to walk, and never a pleasant look for a gruffy looking talk. His conscience it may fail, and his heart it may give way, then he'll raise us our wages to 9pence a day. You've heard of the Gresford Disaster and the terrible price that was paid. 242 colliers were lost and 3 men of a rescue brigade. It occurred in the month of September. At 2 in the morning that pit was racked by a violent explosion in the Dennis where gas lay so thick. The gas in the Dennis deep section was packed there like snow in a drift, and many a man had to leave the coal face before he had worked out his shift. A fortnight before the explosion, to the shot fighter Tomlinson cried, "If you fire that shot, we'll be all blown to hell," and nobody can say that he lied. The fireman's reports, they are missing the records of 42 days. The colliery manager had them destroyed to cover his criminal ways. Down there in the dark they are lying. They died for 9 shillings a day. They've worked out their shift and it's now they must lie in the darkness until Judgment Day. The Lord Mayor of London's collecting to help both the children and wives, the owners have sent some white lilies to pay for the poor colliers' lives. Farewell our dear wives and our children, farewell our dear comrades as well. Don't send your sons in the dark dreary mine, they'll be damned like the sinners in hell. greens were badly need, and Island Bella swore it cramped her style when Milder's life seemed no worthwhile. Nobody cared but Wal cared. When Alex Russell needed sticks, what could appreciate his fix and bring him nail bar seemed be six, and nobody cared but Wal cared. When Grouser swore the sand was weak and trouble seemed to reach its peak, what for a remedy would seek, nobody cared but Wal cared. When Norman on the single end looked for a hand, and Neen would bend would grab his ladle like a friend, nobody cared but Wal cared. When sweat had got you nearly blind, what didn't you think it was a sin to gie a man a shovel in? Nobody cared but Wal cared. When we the dust you fair could choke, and on your back your shirt did soak, what come along and tell a joke, and nobody cared but Wal cared. When somebody working close at hand rammed up his job with face and sand, while other batches bravely planned, nobody cared but Wal cared. When came the shout, here comes Big Joke, and other mortals ran amok, what calmly stood and had his smoke, everybody cared but Wal cared. Come healing men, come lolling men, and every man on earth, man, and I'll tell you who I got on a tween Dundee and Perth, man. I gaed upon an iron road, a reel they did it come on, and a rugged be an iron horse, an awful beastie draw, man. Then first and foremost near the door there was a wee bit wicket, it was there they guard me pay my tide, and they gied to me a ticket. I went a wa up through the hoose, sat down upon a kist, man, to take a look at all I saw on the great big iron piece, man. There was hooses in a long straight row, a standing upon wheels, man, and them the cheels that fed the horse were black as a pair of deals, man, and ne'er a thing they gied the brood but only coals to eat, man. The queerest beast that e'er I saw, for he had wheels for feet, man. The beast did roared and off we gaed through water, earth and stains, man. We ran at sick a fearful rate, I thought we'd break our beans, man, till by and by we stop it at a place called something Gowrie. But ne'er a word had I to say, but only sit and glory. Then after that we crossed the Tay and landed into Perth, man. I vow it was the queerest place I ever saw on earth, man, for the hooses and the iron horse were far aboon the land, man. But who they got them up the stairs I cannae understand, man. But now I'm safely landed when my feet are on the sod, man. When I gang to Dundee again I'll take another road, man, though I should tramp upon my feet till I'm no fit to stand, man. Catch me again when I'm taining wi' a chap wi' a yellow band, man. In 1841, me corduroy breeches I put on. Me corduroy breeches I put on to work upon the railway, the railway. I'm weary of the railway, poor Paddy works on the railway. In 1842 from Hartlepool I moved to Crewe and found myself a job to do, working on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. In 1843 I broke me shovel across my knee and went to work for the company on the Leeds and Selby Railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. In 1844 I landed on the Liverpool shore. Me belly was empty, me hands were raw with working on the railway, the railway. I'm weary of the railway. Poor Paddy works on the railway. In 1845, when Daniel O'Connell he was alive, when Daniel O'Connell he was alive and working on the railway, I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. In 1846 I changed me trade from carrying bricks, I changed me trade from carrying bricks to working on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. In 1847 poor Paddy was thinking of going to heaven. Poor Paddy was thinking of going to heaven and working on the railway, the railway. I'm weary of the railway. Poor Paddy works on the railway. I was wearing corduroy breeches, digging ditches, pulling breeches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. Cannily, Cannily, bonny lal bernici devanti cry-me lal pent. Wished at the greeting your daddy is sleeping, it's not time to waken him yet. Soon he'll be gone through the shed for his engine, soon he'll be driving his train through the night, walking for pennies for you, my lal treasure, so hard the noise hinny, your daddy sleeps light. When thou'rt grown thou shalt have thy own engine, the biggest that ever was seen on the line, and all our neighbours will point to my Johnny, and now he's the king of the northeastern line. Cannily, Cannily, bonny lal bernici devanti cry-me lal pet. Wished at the greeting your daddy is sleeping, it's not time to waken him yet.
The iron road is a hard road and the work is never ending. Working night and day on the iron way, we're the boys who keep the engines rolling. You sign on at the loco shed, they put you to the cleaning. In your dungarees, cleaning super D's, you're a sweeper up, a brewer up, a shovel slinger, spanner, bring a steam, raise a fire, drop a general, cook and bottle wash, you're learning how to keep 'em rolling. When you've done your time at the loco shed and had your share of trouble on the old footplate, you're the driver's mate and you're married to a lousy shovel. It's check the water, check the tools and chuck the blooming coal in. give the gauge a wipe. Check, inject a pipe, now it's swing a shovel at the double, give a rock. Watch the clock, steam raising, sweat running back, aching bones, shaking, fireman, keep it rolling. When you've shoveled 1,000,000 tons of coal some 10 or 12 years later, and your only dream is of raising steam, then they hand to you your driver's papers. The iron road is a hard road and the work is never ending. Working night and day on the iron way, we're the local drivers, early risers, lodging turners, mile burners, 11 quid a week earners. We're the boys who keep 'em rolling.
By Clyde's bonny banks, where I sadly did wander, among the pit heaps as evening drew nigh, I spied a fair maiden all dressed in deep mourning, a weeping and wailing with many a sigh. I stepped up beside her, and this I addressed her: "Tell me, fair maid, of your trouble and pain." Sir, Johnny Murphy, kind sir, was my true lover's name. 21 years of age, full of youth and good looking, to work down the mines of high Blantyre he came. The wedding was fixed, all the guests were invited. That calm summer evening young Johnny was slain. The explosion was heard, all the women and children, with pale, anxious faces they haste to the mine. When the truth was made known, the hills rang with their mourning. 310 young miners were slain. Now husbands and wives and sweethearts and brothers, that Blantyre explosion they'll never forget. And all you young miners that hear my sad story, shed a tear for the victims who laid to their rest. I've travelled east, and I've travelled west, and I've travelled o'er Kirkcaldy, but the bonniest lass that e'er I spied, she was fallen her Collier Laddie. Laddie, oh laddie, but the bonniest lass that e'er I spied, she was fallen a Collier Laddie. Oh, Lullaby, my bonny lass, come tell me what they call ye. Bonnie Jean Gordon is my name, and I'm following my Collier Laddie. Oh, would ye fancy yen that's black, and you say fair and gaudy? Oh, fancy yen o a higher degree than following a Collier Laddie. Ye see yon hills the sun shines on, the sun shines on sae gaudy. They are mine and they shall be thine, gin you leave your Collier Laddie. Though ye had all the sunshines on, and the earth conceal sae lowly, I would turn my back on you and it all, and follow my Collier Laddie. Then he has gien to your feather dear, to your feather gien sae brawly. Says, will ye gie me your bonny, bonny lass, that's fallen a Collier Laddie. Oh, would she marry a man that's black, and me sae braw and gaudy? I'll raise her up to a higher degree than following a Collier Laddie. Her feather dear then vowed and swear, though he be black he's bonny, she's mair delight in him I fear than you wi' all your money. Oh, I can win my 5 pennies a day, and spent at night fu brawly, and I'll mak my bed in the collier's nook, and lie down wi' my Collier Laddie. Love for love is the bargain for me, though the wee cot hoose should haud me, and the world before me to win my breed, and fair for my Collier Laddie. Laddie, oh laddie, and the world before me to win my breed, and fair for my Collier Laddie. It was a dark and stormy night, the snow was falling fast. I stood on Thorbridge Junction where the reckless Moses passed. His hair was wildly waving as through the air he sped. He'd never had such doing since he started at the shed. The signals all at Newton Heath, the shed was close at hand. He sent his mate for some more oil and a couple of bags of sand. At Mostyn's dreary cutting the struggle was extreme. Both front fenders failed to work and the engine wouldn't steam. On passing Hopwood cabin he heard the engines groan, and reaching for the talipod he broke his collarbone. When Castleton appeared in view he shook his weary head, and stepping over to his mate this is what he said: I've worked upon the Ellen for 40 years or more, but such a wretched night as this I've never had before. At Hebden Bridge they stopped the train, some wagons to reload, and Mosey shouted to his mate, we're off the blooming road. Up came old Moses sticking, and his head hung down with grief. He viewed the scene contemptuously and then wired for relief. Pray don't lay violent hands on me, poor Valentine did exclaim. I know you've done your very best, and know you're not to blame. The flowers may bud and bloom in spring and memories fade away, but they will not forget that night until their dying day. But when I'm dead and laid to rest, place on my grave sweet roses. These were, I'm told, the very last pathetic words of Moses.